The Lagos High Court in Igboshere, Lagos Island, has sentenced to death by hanging a former Chief Security Officer, Major Hamza Al-Mustafa, and his co-accused, Alhaji Lateef Shofalaun. In a judgment that lasted about 7 hours, presiding Justice Mojisola Dada convicted both men on the 2-count charge of conspiracy to murder and the murder of late Kudirat Abiola, wife of Chief Moshood Abiola, who is widely believed to have won Nigeria's June 12, 1993 presidential election. The offence was committed in 1996. Our judiciary correspondent Shola Sheyele reports that lawyers to both men have described the judgments as political and vowed to challenge it on appeal.
Thank you.
It had all the trappings of a big judgment. Heavy security presence, complete with dogs, to keep away those who had no business in the court, and ostensibly to forestall any kind of breakdown of law and order. The convoy signals the arrival of the defendants, but turns out to be a decoy. An alternative arrangement had been made to sneak the two defendants into the courtroom, and the cameramen came up short. It appeared no one got a shot of the two men entering the court. Predictably, cameras were also banned in the courtroom. Both defendants wore traditional white kaftan, similar to the ones Major Al-Mustafa wears in this visual from our archives. In her judgment, Justice Mojisola Dada held that she is satisfied with the testimony of the prosecution witnesses. For her, the prosecution proved clearly that its two-star witnesses, Sergeant Rogers and Mohammed Abdul, popularly known as Katako, took active part in the killing. The court was able to establish that Major Al-Mustafa gave his special gun to Sergeant Rogers, who eventually shot Kudirat way back in 1996. Katako drove the vehicle, Rogers rode in. Justice Dada said the evidence of both men was so strong and manifestly reliable, and they proved that they met with the second defendant, Alhaji Shofalaun, at the National Theatre in Lagos to get instructions on how to identify the victim and formalize arrangements for the murder. This was after Shofalaun had met with Al-Mustafa in Abuja to conspire to carry out Kudirat Abiola's murder. Justice Dada had strong words to describe Shofalaun. She labeled him a bloodthirsty traitor, a viper who handed over to killers a woman he worked for. For Major Al-Mustafa, the court found his testimony self-serving, full of intimidation, and his denials an afterthought. The prosecution was not available for comments, but here's how the convicts left the courtroom.
Everybody go back!
The reaction of the first defendant in particular is that the verdict is nothing but a travesty of justice. His reaction, which I'm communicating to you right now, is that the verdict is an example par excellence of a travesty of justice. He is accordingly most dissatisfied with the judgment, which judgment he regarded as more of a political testament.
I find Justice Dada's final words very profound. She said, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness comprehends it not. Those who shed blood are those who fear the most. The defendants are sentenced to death by hanging until they are pronounced dead." I'm Shola Sheyele for Channels Television News.